Guilty of crime.
What happened to Jay? Hey everybody, I'm Jay with Guilty of Crime. How you doing today? What's going on? Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and get a membership if you can. How's everybody doing? I see people in chat just chilling. I know. You guys have probably seen that whole no show Stephan Sterns, which this time I didn't bet my car keys on. Last time I said, I'll bet my car keys that Stephan Sterns is not going to show up. And he did. I don't think I bet my car keys. I said I would bet my car keys, but I didn't. So I need a car, you guys. I need a car. So that being said, this time I didn't bet that. But we're going to show a couple clips from it, the significant things. You guys, many of you already seen it, so welcome. Today we're talking about the Madeline Soto case and when we think it's going to see a trial. And will the evidence from the cell phone get booted? And let's just talk about that. Let's talk about it a little bit today. We will talk about that a little bit today. Welcome, Yolanda. Good to see you. Hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't. Put all notifications. We got 2 new cases coming up this week. And as much as I love covering the Madeline Soto case, we're also covering other cases. I just got a message right now about Maddie's remembrance. And it's really cool because it's on 2/22/25 at Lakefront Park in St. Cloud. They're going to have speakers and music, and they're offering Justice for Maddie t-shirts for donations, guys. They finally have Justice for Maddie t-shirts out there. So let's see if we can get a hold of some. First, I want to see if any of you guys go out there. If you guys go out there, I'd love to see you guys get some t-shirts and send me pics of those t-shirts so that we can post it up on our page, right? So they're going to be doing that, which I didn't know about. They finally got the t-shirts, and they're going to be taking donations, not just for the t-shirt funds, but for the memorial bench and the plaque. Now, yeah, obviously they say they want it to be a solemn place, no protesting, so nobody, all good vibes. 2/22/25 from 5 to 6 p.m. at Lakefront Park in St. Cloud. Now, I did put a flyer up already. It's on the Madeline Soto page, and I'll make sure I get that out there again. That being said, 222, you guys, what is that? 222. As we know, 222, that's a prayer for Madeline Soto. So let's pray that she gets complete and utter justice, and that rotten potato Jen Soto gets arrested. We want her to be arrested. Thank you, Graciela, for being a member for 8 whole months. Children taken too soon by evil mothers and monsters. I agree. And I want to say, welcome back when she pops in here, Synth. Now, I think it's Synth 420. I don't know. We've got her already on there. So we've got mods coming. We've got mods going. We're going to see a little less of Wolfpack and more of Synth. So you guys, yes, 2222 is right. I believe so. They celebrated her birthday on the 26th, but I believe actually is her birthday because it was the Thursday before. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto now. Okay. And we actually just hit 1111. So that's another prayer. And I don't know why I'm still getting text messages. I love that I get text messages because I get to see stuff as it goes, but I don't want to bother you guys with all the notifications. So let me just lower that down. And all right, let's get started. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy, what day is it? Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. We made it halfway through the week. And yes, her birthday is confirmed, right? I can't remember all the dates. I've got the pre-trial dates for one case in my head, and then the trial dates for the other case, and then what got pushed off to the other case. So yes, we're all here for Madeline Soto. We're all here for complete and utter justice. Welcome, life artist. Welcome, Jamie. Welcome, M, my friend, and welcome all. All right, you guys. Notification or Cash App, Venmo, PayPal below. We are fan funded channel. Now, Samantha says Thursday, I'm just in UK. Yeah, that's actually really cool. 10 days from now is at Memorial. And Foxy Amazon, we were talking good about you today behind the scenes. We were talking about throwing a wrench your way before we picked up Synth back on the scene. So that's how much we love you, Foxy Amazon. And thank you always for the 420 memberships, 420 guilty of crime memberships. When people text or call during guilty of crime time, it's all the time. They know it too. They know it. They're like, hey, me, hey, J. Yeah. All right. Yeah, there you go. Synth, just Synth. Welcome back with the mod wrench. There she is. Synth is in the house, back with guilty of crime. Yes. All right. So we're going to document everything like I always do. And then we'll get into discussions and things. I'm going to just document the fact that the pretrial hearing of Fox 35 Orlando is taking place today. And if you just completely were under a rock today, like I wanted to be, you didn't see any of this. But when we go back later on and we document this case, we see everything that we can about what's happening out there in social media and in the media, particularly. Welcome, Nancy Jean. I'm glad that you're telling us about the t-shirts because people want t-shirts. Nancy Jean says Madeline Soto t-shirts will be available for donations at Remembrance on 222 in St. Cloud, Lakefront Park. All right. If some are left, we'll let you know. Now, you guys know that we'll certainly donate money for those shirts. And does anyone think Jen Soto's is I shouldn't even say that, right? Does anyone think Jen Soto's going to go to that to her daughter's birthday party this year? It's her daughter's birthday party / remembrance. What a shame, right? It could be her birthday again. It could be Madeline Soto's 14th birthday on that day, but instead we're having a remembrance. So very sad. I can't imagine a mother not going to that. Yeah, no matter what. And LJ, you say probably not. She's afraid. She's afraid. I was watching interviews today when it all first started, and she said, I'm afraid to go out there from what these people are going to do to me. Now, was that maniac in the courthouse today? Well, JC, hit the like button and stick around. I'm going to show you right now. I've got good conversation. I got a little more time because I have Reese today. So if you guys can keep me going with the like, share, subscribe, super chat, super sticker, I might be able to stay a little longer. I have some really good conversations I'd like to have. We'll see if I get to them, okay? Busy day. Let's roll this, everybody.
Of killing 13-year-old Maddie Soto will be back in court.
This time, Stephan Sterns will have a pretrial hearing. It's ahead of his child sex crime trial. And Amanda McKenzie is live outside the Osceola County Courthouse. Amanda, worth noting, this is separate from that trial.
That's right. So he will be facing 2 different trials. And this one today is a hearing concerning his 60 plus counts of child sex abuse charges. And this trial is set to start on February 24th. Meanwhile, his defense attorneys have filed about 50 motions in recent days. Sterns is also facing a first-degree murder charge and the death penalty if convicted in the disappearance and death of 13-year-old Maddie Soto.
And again, a lot of those motions that we talked about, we didn't sit there and go through them. I'm so grateful that some of the creators did, like Grizzly. She's all about her documents. She did two things today. She went through a document and she ran a full, like, 8-hour trial, right? That's her job. She's the queen of true crime. So if you guys want to listen to that, I will load those documents into Patreon. I see that there are new Patreon members. And for those of you that signed up for Patreon recently and before, thank you guys. I will just dump them on in there. You can look yourself. I just haven't had time or the focus to sit there and read a document because I have so much to talk about that I'm like, I got to get to it. I got to get to it. So, welcome everybody. Welcome, Ashley. I see you, my girl. And Kylie, take a shower. Stanky Steve. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be in history, right? When we're talking about the Casey Anthony case, it's in history. We want to go back and we want to watch these things. And Chatterbox, thank you very much for the notes that you sent over to Bree. And also, there's locks, I believe. Are you the person that has the locks? Somebody has locks they want to donate to the Madeline Soto Locks of Love, and they want to know where it goes. It goes to a P.O. box, you guys. Now, some of the motions in the Stephan Sterns case were limiting victim impact statements, jury travel to see the prison. That's crazy, right? Who gives a crap? If I went to go see a prison and I was a juror and I knew what this guy did, I would say, I don't even want that prison. We need something under the ground with fire at all times. We need to put him in hell. Bar death penalty, bar death as a possible penalty, and no hearing date set to hear motions. I mean, these are just ridiculous, right? Absolutely ridiculous. So let's finish this little clip so I can actually talk to you about what some of the highlights were without having to watch 26 minutes of almost a nothing burger. Not quite a nothing burger, but close as a nothing burger as it gets.
Last year. The motions include issues like limiting victim impact statements. Another motion discusses possible challenges over potential jurors. And his attorneys are even requesting that the jury travel to the prison and execution chamber where Sterns could be held if he were to be convicted and sentenced to death. However, attorneys have filed a motion to remove death as a possible penalty. Sterns is accused of killing the daughter of his girlfriend on the day after she turned 13 years old and disposing of her body in a remote part of Osceola County. He has pleaded not guilty to those charges. So far, no date has been set to hear any of these motions. Today's pretrial hearing is set to begin at 9 a.m. We'll be sure to let you know what happens.
And we will be sure to let you know what happens. And as we know, he did not take her life the day after her birthday. It was the day after her birthday party, in fact. So it was Chatterbox. I'll send 9 locks on behalf of Guilty of Crime this Friday. And Jay, I mailed your hoodie. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you. I appreciate all the support that you give us and all of you that give us. Yeah, not a nothing burger, maybe more like a co-burger. Yeah, co-burger. Huh? I don't know. I'm not sure if you watched what I watched. If you watched what I watched, Koberger is more, in my opinion, like a weak Ted Bundy. But this pretrial hearing, man, really just made me. I don't even know. I knew that was coming, but yet I was still really disappointed for some reason. I don't know why I was so disappointed when I should have been ready for it. All right, one more clip, and I'll also tell you some of the highlights. All right, so one more clip. And this what came from Channel 9 News about the bombarding of long filings and why. And again, that's kind of what I'm talking about on today's episode is what's going on here. Why is this happening? Why are they just trying to fill up space? Do they really think that the jurors are going to go take a look at the chamber of death and say, no, save this man. I don't think so. What's up, Mr. Bot? How you doing? Coffee and love. Right. All right. Sterns attorneys bombard judge in a week-long filing spree. There is a method to their madness.
Developing here this afternoon, Stephan Sterns is trying to get out of facing the death penalty, and his attorneys want the public to be kept out of the courtroom for case hearings until the trial.
You'll recall Sterns charged with the murder, and that's of the 13-year-old daughter of his girlfriend, Madeline Soto. And Channel 9's Nick Pampantona sorted through court records all day and found some interesting details. Nick?
And that's next, folks. They did have court today, and they did stream in court. So that is coming up. You guys that just rolled in, you didn't really miss much. We're just trying to document everything that's coming up. Maddie's memorial or remembrance on 2/22/25 for her. It would be her 14th birthday. Now we're remembering her. There'll be t-shirts there that you could donate to the bench fund. So there you go. A lot of things coming up, a lot of dates coming at us, and even more dates coming at us after today's court hearing. All right.
What is his attorney trying to get done here?
You know, the judge has a ton of rulings dumped on him over the last week. An attorney told me it could be that Stephan Sterns' team wanted to just submit them all at once, but it's probably more than that.
Yeah, they're really throwing a lot out there.
The number of filings impressing even the people who do it for a living. Attorneys for Stephan Sterns dropping more than 50 requests on the judge's desk since last Thursday,
50.
including requests to get rid of the death penalty,
50.
prevent the jury from seeing certain evidence, even disallowing the use of the word murder to describe the crime scene.
Using the word murder at trial implies criminal intent.
Wow, so we're trying to go YouTube on this trial, huh? They want to use the word smurder or red rum. Could you imagine every time that they talked about taking Maddie's life, someone said, oh yeah, he red rummed her or he smurdered her. How serious can you be in a motion like this, you guys? Really, though, you got to be able to see past what they're doing here. And life artists, thank you so much. I love your picture down there. Thank you for the one Guilty of Crime membership and always supporting my channel. I really do appreciate all of your support. I hope you guys see that the channel's growing, we're expanding, and we're always trying to do new things here. So I know you guys appreciate the call-ins. The people that listen to you guys call in absolutely loved it. I got fantastic feedback on your guys's ladies call-ins, people's call-ins. All right. I actually want to watch that Rotten Mango episode of Maddie. I want to watch that with you guys and talk about it. So Boyle TSA, love you. Thanks for bringing that here. I also have another episode that's called, What? Okay, no. Yeah, What Does Jen Know? It's a deep dive into the case of Madeline Soto and what she knows with pieces of investigation. It was put together beautifully. It's a 32-minute long little documentary style thing, and I want to watch it with you guys and react to it. It's fantastic. I would have done that today if everyone wasn't asking about the pretrial, but I absolutely want to do that with you all because I love watching things and reacting to them with you. So Nancy Jean, be there for Maddie's September 22nd for positivity and music. Thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat. And yes, you love my humans. My dog loves his human, right? My dogs do too. My dogs all love the humans. Evening, Jay. I hope they use the word red rum when they use the creepy kid voice, right? Right? They should do that then. Red rum. And then, yeah. Courts today, baby. Just Teresa, you came in just in time. All right. Just in time. And I think you're the one that I sent a hoodie to. Did that ever get to you? Because I spent a lot of money on those stinking hoodies. And I need to find out. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. I'm glad you guys didn't watch the court because I have it right here next.
Homicide is intent neutral, so it's just safer. It just means that somebody died.
Attorney Thomas Fighter said many of the 345 pages included routine asks, things he himself would request. Some of them less common, like a request to shut the public out of all future court proceedings until the trial begins to avoid tainting the jury.
To close us off from, what is a public forum would be difficult for the judge to do, but he can do it if the defense is able to demonstrate compelling circumstances.
But looking at the sheer number of motions, Fighter said it went beyond defense attorneys doing an A+ job in trying to prevent Sterns from claiming ineffective counsel on appeal. He thought it could be a deliberate strategy, just as leadership at the prosecutor's office was turning over.
It could be that she knows that this office is understaffed at the moment. They've had a lot of turnover, so they're using this as a tactic to try to overwhelm the office into giving them a better plea deal.
There you go.
The public defender in this case, Beth Borden, has 20.
That is it. I don't think he wants to go on trial for this, you guys. And everything and anything you guys need, you can go to guiltyofcrime.com and get just about anything you need. Just Teresa, message me. Carly's taking care of the hoodie situation, but message me so we can talk. I spent over $100, 150 something on some hoodies, and nobody got them, I don't think. Kimber Smiles. Thank you for the $2.99 super sticker. I do appreciate it. All right, so you see they're using tactics to overwhelm. Someone else said that they're doing that so that hopefully the they haven't been offered a plea deal. They're hoping prosecution will come and say, you know what, this is kind of ludicrous. We're going to offer you a plea deal, but we don't want to deal with all this stuff and have to go through this. Let's just settle this out of court. That hasn't happened yet, and they want the death penalty. I don't think that strategy is going to work, you guys. I truly think that they fully want to go to trial and put this monster on blast. Thank you, Synth, for the 1 Guilty of Crime membership and the 420 membership right on time. Foxy Amazon, thank you so much for the Guilty of Crime membership. I appreciate you. All right. I don't think that tactic is going to work, and I don't think you guys want it to work. I know you guys want to see a trial just like I do.
25 years of experience and a team of 4 or 5 working under her. Fighter called her one of the best in the Ninth Circuit.
Wow.
Greg and Darlene.
Developing here.
They're talking about his attorney, you guys. That's not good. But I still don't think with what he did, it's possible for that to even... I don't think that's possible. I don't think that he's going to win by any means. And I think the only way that I would feel just, and I'm sorry if you guys don't feel that way, the only way I would feel like we got true justice is, number one, if there is a trial. Number two, if he gets the death penalty. Now, I'm not a monster or a demon that wants to see him die, but I do want to see him suffer. And it's rare to get the death penalty to actually happen and executions happen. But boy, would I love for him to be scared every day of his life and to exhaust his appeals and his more appeals and more appeals, and then to walk down the aisle of doom when he knows he's walking to his last breath. I'd love for that to happen to this monster that didn't show up at court today, coincidentally. Not in court. You see the courthouse? There is the court. I checked 3 different channels, and this was the channel I chose. All right, so we're streaming it from this news station at 2646 because of them asking for, and before I'll tell you real quick the overviews, and then I'll play some of it because a lot of it's just nothing burgers and dead space. So I'll tell you right now, I knew this was happening, and I told you that this was happening. They wanted more time. Stephan Sterns originally thought, hey, it would be a good idea, and it would mess the prosecution up. It would mess the prosecution up if I said, let's go to trial right away. They'd mess them up. They would say, oh shit, I'm not ready. I haven't went through all the images, and now I've got all these filings. I haven't been able to talk about it today, so I haven't been able to get to it, and they would be unprepared. That strategy didn't work, so now they're trying this strategy. So yes, they're asking for more time. Kylie says, I said in Grizzly Chat, truthfully, I couldn't be on a death penalty jury, too heavy for me. But in regards to him, I don't care what they decide. Let's just say that. Well, thank you for your opinion. Again, I would be on a jury like that, and I would gladly put that man to death. And I think I could even go as far as being in there and watching them hit that button to get those all in his veins, because, well, I've been studying and watching true crime for over 20 years. And with the monsters that I see these days, I could just, it would be like a very clinical experience for me. Even Ted Bundy, as arrogant as he was scared shitless. They all cry and they all crumble. You know, I've seen a few that go on death row and their last words are F you, and then they're done. They get their last meal and they tell everyone to F off. So there's a few of them, but Stephan Sterns would not be one of those. All right. Stephan Sterns would have to show up. There's no doubt about that. All right. Yeah. Carly's with me. I could watch him get it for sure. Carly, I will save a chair right next to me for you. All right. Smoky Sterns, stinky Sterns. All right. Let's listen to what happened today. If you didn't watch this, then, well, you can first of all see that Stephan Sterns isn't there. And the takeaway is the defense attorney said that she has one more motion to close the courtroom with. Out of all the 50, there's just one more motion to close the courtroom with. She's filing that motion by the end of this week or next, right? And then the hearing's not set. The hearing is not set for the motions. The evidence viewing got canceled. So I was hoping to see the evidence today. And that's why I say to you guys, after we're done looking through most of the nothing burgers, and boy, did I scout through that. I scouted through it. I was like, oh, whoa, who's that man down there? Did they cut Stephan Sterns' hair? No, that's a defense. Who is it? Still didn't find him. And trust me, I was looking for that guy quite a bit. I was looking for him. I woke up at 5:30 this morning to catch it because I'm in California, and I caught nothing. I think Gacy said something similar to kiss my ass. Truly that one. Yeah, probably. He needs to be in general pup. Yeah, he won't last for a second, you guys. He won't last for a second. Welcome, Petty. Good to see you here. Good to see you. Sent the best weed comes from Santa Cruz. Are you from Santa Cruz? Is that why you're saying that? All right. So then let's see. We didn't get to see evidence. The lawyers were in court for another case. So the new date will be set for the defense to view evidence, not until March. And I'm pretty sure in March it's going to get pushed out again. I hate to tell you guys, but the judge set the pretrial. So mark your calendars, April 23rd. And then trial is set from May 5th to the 21st. Judge said the motions are reviewing of evidence and they need to be completed prior to the April court date. All right. Now, trial 1 got knocked out on 2/24/25. Pretrial happened today, supposedly. And trial number 2, the premeditated capital, what do they want to call it? Homicide, is for 9/10/25 and trial 9/22/25. Now that is the one that is the death penalty. All right. Okay, let's watch this. You guys see if you spot Stephan Sterns. There you go. There you go. May 5th to 25th. And I love the J Chat family. Yes, we all love you guys too. All right. Yes. Carly says, if anyone is a horror fan, I recommend Hard Eyes. I do want to see that too. Good recommendation. I'll leave that up for a second. All right, let's start at the beginning. We're not going to watch all of it because it's a lot of dead space. We'll go 1.5. Ooh, thank you. Typically, you'd see like Stephan Sterns walking in with his attorneys, but you don't see any of that. So if you missed this morning, this is what you missed. And I'll just keep talking right now for a minute because nothing's happening here. They set up camera. They got all the people there. They're talking amongst themselves. It's bailiffs talking to the judge. And actually, it's not even the judge. I believe that's a court reporter. just chilling, just standing there. You got the defense and the prosecution BSing with each other. They don't even talk for a while. I hate to disappoint you and to spoiler alert this, but Stephan Sterns did not show up. This is what you see is what you get right now. What you see is what you get. We're 14 minutes in and this is what's happening. Nothing. Now you can't even hear it anymore. The volume's gone. Yeah, they took the volume up. I turned it all the way up because a lot of them didn't. You couldn't hear once they started talking. So I'll just play it for a minute, you guys, and yeah, let's talk in chat until they go on. Stephan Sterns did not show up. That is a good topic. Thank you, LJ, for talking about that. Now we're watching this thing right now. It's not paused. Right, I put it on 1.5. I'll even go faster. I'll go 2 times the speed just so you can see that we're actually watching something, everybody. And I was wondering, where does Jennifer Soto fit into this, you guys? Where does she fit in? Why isn't Jen Soto there? Now, the reason I asked that is because most of the time when there's a hearing or pretrial or something that's important for family members that have a victim, the person's close family, especially a mother, will go. Now, I didn't hear that this was closed or anything. Here you go. Again, we're 19 minutes in, and this is what's happening still. They're talking to each other and nothing. There's not even a judge sitting in there.
One day, my client
telling stories. Now there's no more. So if you woke up this morning, if you're in California like me, and you woke up at 5:30 a.m. to freaking to watch this pre-trial hearing, you'll be very disappointed. I'm definitely going to go to sleep early now because I woke up so dang early to catch this. I was very excited. And 20 minutes in, you still see whatever you get. Whatever you see is what you get. LJ says family members always show where they have an advocate. Yes, they do, LJ. Absolutely. You're 100% right. When my nephew, and he was not the person that was the defendant. He was actually the one on an, I wouldn't call it trial, but he was going and they were putting the evidence on. I went there to support my nephew for that, and she can't even go there to support her daughter. None of that family, none of it. Now, I wish Tyler Wallace would have flew over there just to be, there for his daughter, Maddie, but he's not there either. All right. No, I don't get up early every day like that. The judge is there. Nothing's still happening. So it's not on mute. It's live. So for the next 3 minutes, this is what you get. And I'm not done with my show. I see there was 230 people in here and then they left. Don't leave. I still have a whole bunch more to cover, guys. Don't leave. Don't leave. Yeah, she does need to be arrested. She does. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. Welcome, Bambi. Trey Jones. Okay.
Right, good morning again. Welcome to pretrial. At pretrial, we're going to be discussing your cases with the attorneys. I'm going to be inquiring of the attorneys what the status of the case is, whether there's reasonable cause to grant more time to prepare for the case, whether the case is in a position to resolve, or whether the case should be set for trial. You should have all met with your attorneys prior to this date and should have received an offer of resolution for your consideration.
Yeah.
To take a couple of cases out of order that require the assistance of our reliable court reporter. Stephan Sterns, 2024, CF 632.
Danielle Canal for the state. Oh, we just don't have our active.
We'll receive the waiver of Mr. Sterns' appearance pursuant to our administrative order. That waiver is accepted. The court has also received purported to be unopposed motion to continue. I noticed from reviewing the docket, there's been 3 motions to suppress evidence filed on February 6th.
All right, so here we go. Motions to suppress evidence. And this is what we're talking about, being bombarded by a ton of motions that are just typical motions that anybody would do. And then motions, in my opinion, that are absolutely ridiculous and ludicrous. Now, Kylie, the baked potato is not even a witness on anything that we've seen yet. So that has nothing to do with it. She's still Madeline Soto's mom, and that's her only child, by the way. So yeah, what's up, Blue? How you doing? Stephan Sterns is a coward, and he's probably going to be like Adam Montgomery and not show up at all, except for during the trial, only because he'll be ordered to. Now, remember, with Adam Montgomery didn't go to his trial at all, except for the sentencing, you guys, which is terrible. We're watching this trial and we don't get to see this horrible, awful demon that did that to that beautiful little girl. So prayers for Madeline Soto. And let's not forget Naziah Harris, you guys. Naziah needs to not be forgotten.
Looks like those motions deal with a search and seizure of a cell phone and material contained therein.
Okay, guys, I'm not going to stop it too much more because it's only like 3 minutes and 4 minutes of talking, but he went right into the cell phone motion. I ask you, will the cell phone evidence get booted out? What do you think? You guys watched that video, right? You watched how smooth, in my opinion. Now, everybody doesn't have to agree with me, okay? But in my opinion, that officer did a smooth job of getting that cell phone. And she did it good, and they got a lot of evidence, and they arrested him as soon as they saw the CSAM pictures, and they got him into that little room with those other officers where Sleepy Boy was sleeping. So they're going to get right into the evidence of the cell phone, and you guys tell me what you think. If you think it's going to get booted out because of the way the officer got it, tell me hell yeah. If you don't think so, say hell nah. Urgh. Stays in there, baby. Stays in there. All right.
Those been coordinated with my office except for here.
No, you're good.
That has been continued twice before in April and July. Also, public defender's been on the case for almost a year. When do you anticipate resolving these motions?
There's one other motion that I have to file, and I'll be asking the court to hear before the motion to suppress. I intend to get that motion filed by the beginning of the week, and this week, but I will be reaching out to Ms. Hackman in regards
That's the substance.
to the required court order.
Ms. Fennell, the motion to continue was reported to be unopposed. These matters need to be resolved prior to the trial.
For the integrity of the case, yes, Judge. The evidence viewing that was set in this case ended up having to be canceled because COVID ended up in trial, and the other attorneys were not available either. So that is scheduled in March, and I don't believe that we will be able to proceed to trial until the defense has had an opportunity to review that evidence and these motions are resolved.
Right, the matter is going to be continued without opposition from the state. Our next court trial is going to be on April 22nd with a trial period that begins May 5th and runs through May 21st.
There you go. Those are the important dates, you guys. So we did all this. Everybody woke up nice and early, including me, and the California folks got up early. Everyone was so excited to see this. And today they were supposed to present evidence. So we should have been watching this and seeing and hearing evidence being presented in this case, which is why I woke up so early. I really wanted the evidence to be presented in the case that they have. I mean, every time we go back on what we didn't know before and then what we know now, I'm like, oh my God, we guessed it. We're playing guessing games here until it comes out. And so I really was excited. I know it sounds crazy, but and a lot of you probably are too, but I was really excited to see what came out. And what just came out is that the pretrial is set for April 23rd now. So what we're February 12th? February, we got March, April, we got 2 more months, 2 months and 11 days, and then supposedly May 5th to the 21st, which I really doubt. Now remember, this CSAM trial is not for the death penalty. Hello everybody. What's up, DT? How you doing? It is not a death penalty case. They are not seeking the death penalty in this CSAM case. Although I wish I wish Jen Soto had to be there because she was the one that gave access to gave Maddie access. Now, Jewel, I put it on. I'm trying to translate it for you. They don't talk a lot. I just translated what they said about the trial, and all they're saying is, "Can we do the motions? Motions. We're going to come back to that motion." They're not saying much, and there's no closed captions on it, unfortunately. So, yeah, it's gonna. You say that. Yeah, let's cross our fingers that it won't get pushed out again. But yeah, really. But seriously, you pressing charges, potato, right? Yeah, right. Should they ask her? Are you gonna? Have you decided to press charges yet on this demon? Probably not.
My apologies, April 23rd will be the pre-trial date with a trial period that begins May 5th through May 21st. Anticipate that the
Not yet. It does.
and hearings will be scheduled in advance, and heard and resolved in advance of the April 23rd pre-trial date. Anything further?
But I have a proposal where the parties.
Thank you.
Nothing further.
That'll conclude our pre-trial on Stephan Sterns, 2024 CF 6.2.
The support the proposal where you have your access to the motion.
State Florida versus Larry Rose, 2022 CF 1914.
Catherine Marlowe on behalf of the state.
Mr. Rose appears to be quick. Mr. Rose present.
You might pronounce it, I'm open to proceed without these lines. I know the court has to be larger than the box, and we have a lot of work with it.
I do. All right, let me take, can we take a couple of the votes in the inmates and then we'll make Mr. Rose a copy as soon as he's
Thank you.
Yeah, that's all they said. You can't. So I'll leave that up on the screen for a second and I'll tell you again. Stephan Sterns did not show up, which I'm not surprised. He's only showed up one time in court and I was surprised then. And he looked terrible, by the way. Let's put that out there. He shaved his little beard up and his big old ears were hanging out and his ugly. He was in an ugly orange. I think he was in an outfit like that. I don't know. Okay, Chatterbox says the judge did say, and of course, they can't continue without that. But thank you for breaking that down, Chatterbox. The judge did say he expects the motion, hearings, and evidence reviewed by the new trial date, which is really still, again, kind of a nothing burger because it's 2 months and 11 days away. I would really hope that they deny, and deny them by 2 months in, right? So yeah, that still you kind of got to do that. Otherwise you're not going to be able to move forward. So I will really hope so. I really hope that the judge would do that. He'd look more stupid than usual without a beard, right? They should make him cut his beard. And absolutely, I have respect for most judges. Every once in a while, you get a really shitty judge, but this guy seems like he's going to be fair. We don't know yet. We haven't seen the motions. You guys say that until you see what happens. Yeah, you can play the laughing pill to inject a little positive energy to break up the heaviness. Absolutely, Gemini. Anything for you. That does make me laugh. There it is, baby. There it is. All right. Let me recap that and we'll get to our next 5 major updates in this case. You gotta laugh, right? You gotta laugh, you gotta smile when you hear that. All right, Gemini, no problem. And thank you, Graciela. Gracie, thank you so much for the guilty of crime membership. You're usually here all the time. I see you pretty often, and I know you're not a mod on any other channels. Maybe we should toss you a wrench for when you're awake. You can be all cute down there like you are in your picture and wrench people out of here. You come on too when I do my stupid lives, when I do my vertical lives and I get all the trolls. We should talk. 444, baby. It's 444. Say a wish for Madeline. So let's make a wish and say a prayer and all that. All right, let's keep going. There's 256 people in chat. I'd like to get another like 50 people in here hitting that like button. And I love that you guys. I love that. I love the laughing thing and all of our toys. This is Jen Soto. Also, this is so the potato doesn't ruin it for you. There you go. Jen Soto. That's Jen Soto also. And then Stinky Sterns did not show up today. Now, somebody called my hair that it looks like a skunk. So there you go. There's my skunk buddy. Yesterday, someone said that, and I like that. I don't have a problem with that skunk stripe. I think that's good. Thank you. Thanks for my toy. Whoever sent that to me. I appreciate that. Rest in peace, precious Maddie. All right. So those are the takeaways from this, which were almost nothing. All right. Motions are going to be done, hopefully, by the time of trial. They're filing one more motion by the end of the week. The evidence got canceled. That's going to come out until March. So let's mark your calendars and then remark your calendars again for April 23rd. And May 5th. You guys got that? April 23rd and May 5th. And then keep your calendars marked for the next capital trial. Okay. That one's the death penalty. And that pre-trial is 9/10/2025. Trial supposedly starts on 9/22/2025. But I don't think that's going to happen because of the jury selection, and they probably will be sequestered for this kind of case, I would imagine. I don't know if they do that in Florida, but those are the major takeaways. And yes, like, there's our man, Chief Rocca, the mascot boyfriend of Guilty of Crime. And you are our guy, Chief. So thank you. You're the man. I appreciate it. It's interesting to see how many men come into Guilty of Crime versus women. So you're picked. You're our boyfriend of Guilty of Crime. Pat B, don't be scared. It's not going to get booted out. They individually, I have to read this. They individually, let me see what you wrote. Okay. So there was an individual. There's individual motions for each. I'm going to read that and then you won't be scared. Where did it go? Bree? So Bree sent me a message about Google, Telegram. Let's see. Where is it? So I want you guys to feel better about not thinking that's going to happen. Okay. So the subpoenas, the separate subpoena. Okay. There's separate subpoenas for each account. So if you're worried about the cell phone information getting booted out, each app, all right, there's a subpoena or a search warrant for everything that they throw out. So if the factory reset thing gets or if the phone gets set out, they put individual warrants for his individual apps. So you shouldn't worry too much about the phone. Stephan Sterns did a factory reset because if there were images on the phone, right, when he handed it over to the officer, well, he would have had to explain something different. What are the pictures? And he would have been arrested on the spot instead of maybe 2 days later. But they did, in fact, he did give them, and they recovered everything and asked for his password and asked for his Google Drive. So you guys, they did that and he gave it over. You can't just say, I take that back now. You can't say that. All right. So, yeah, I think that's important for you guys to remember that everything had a subpoena for every other app and every other thing. And I'll read this to you. Here it is. This is why I don't want you to worry. Okay, let me pull this down and I'm going to read that to you, and then I'll pull up my next thing because that's just a dead court with nothing. But I'll put Maddie on there while I tell you why you should not worry about the cell phone getting booted. Okay. There you go. There's Maddie, beautiful Maddie. This is why we're here. No, I'm going to tell you what, Tammy Gill, it's not illegal to search a cell phone when you hand it over and then give your password to an officer. He didn't, yeah, they had permission, but even if you don't feel good past that, you're like, I still don't feel good about it. Here it is. If you're worried, they try and throw out evidence of the Stephan Sterns because he factory reset anyway. He handed the phone to the officer. She asked if he had a Google account or a Google Drive because he likely didn't sign back in, knowing it would be accessible to the officer to go in and see the CSAM. But the police looked at the apps that he had on his account, you guys, and let me tell you what, it was Telegram, it was Fitbit, it was Apple, it was Google, it was Discord, it was Instagram, it was Facebook, and they did an individual search warrant and subpoena for all information on each account. So let them throw out the cell phone evidence because his phone likely had very little on it. But they have separate subpoenas for every Google account, every Google Drive, every Google folder, every Fitbit step he took, every Fitbit step he didn't take, and every program that he had. Does that make you guys feel better? Does that make anyone feel better? Fuck the cell phone. Excuse my language, guys. I don't cuss very often, but yeah, toss the cell phone out. We don't give a shit. Have your cell phone back, you little whiny bitch, and you potato head. We don't care. Take your cell phone and shove it up your ass. We've got all your other apps, and we got your passwords, and we have everything downloaded with the correct paperwork. So go fuck off, all right? And go try to get yourself some root beer candy that's hopefully no longer available. Grassi, Choo Choo, thank you so much for the $2 super chat. Yeah, I normally don't say that. I normally don't, but you know what? When they put some bullshit like that, and we saw him handing it over like a little Mickey Mouse, like, hey, me, you can have it, but my dad needs to call me. Then you know what? And 35,000 images, nobody's going to care about that. Yeah, go fuck off. It's true. Welcome, Nettie. Never better late than never. All right. Yeah, his father also had a drive. So if that didn't convince you, there you go. Let's let Psychic Amelia convince you. So basically, what we're saying, Psychic Amelia, is the phone means nothing. He wiped it off. There was not much left on the phone because he reset it. Oh, what did Jen call it? He was resetting, updating. Yeah, he reset, updated, deleted his phone, and everything else came from the cloud. So who gives a shit? Yeah. All right. So if that makes you guys feel better, I hope that makes you feel better. Nothing's wrong with root beer candy unless you're Stephan Sterns, Chief. You're not Stephan Sterns, so nothing's wrong with it. I drink root beer almost every day. I know I shouldn't because some of my members called me fat yesterday, and I'm like, wait a minute, I better do what do they call that? Mewing, or what is that called when you work on your jaw? I got to stop drinking root beer. All right. Nothing's wrong with that unless you're Stephan Sterns. Yeah. Dummy thought he could erase everything. What a dumbass. His father turned it in. I mean, come on. There's nothing to worry about there, y'all. Nothing at all. They can pull the metadata from the phone. Nothing's deleted. Who gives a crap? Yeah, Miss J, you called this out last year about the teachers and now the choir teacher. That's leakage from Jen and him from the beginning. No telling what we will never know. There's no coincidences, laughter in medicine, especially in true crime, all right? Never a coincidence in true crime. All good. I'll take that. I'll take that. I got muscles. It's not fat. It's muscles, all right? Yeah, you told Jen he reset it. Updated it twice. Your Tamagotchis are toast. Yeah, we're going to mew. Let me see that jawline. I got to work up my mewing there. Or maybe that's just me getting old. All right. Never had a root beer. Australia doesn't have that drink. I love it. I love it. Yes, my boobs are huge. Yes. Double D, baby. Double D. You can't confuse me for a male. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. All right, now we're going to talk about, whiny little simp bitch said it was an IS notification. Ah. Yeah, they just got to cross their T's and dot their I's. That's it. He's stupid. Love the Mew. Hold on. I don't even know how to do that. All right, I'm not going to do that. Let's keep going. You guys, I'm just making you guys laugh. All right, let's talk about 5 major updates in the case that you probably didn't even realize were happening while we were focusing on this BS. This is the latest one from Crime Fix.
Stephan Sterns, the man accused of murdering Maddie Soto after sexually abusing her for years, asked the judge to remove the death penalty from his case, even bringing Pope Francis into his argument. This, as Maddie's former choir teacher is charged with sex crimes involving young boys. I go over the latest developments in the case. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. It's been a little bit since we've talked about Maddie Soto's case, so I thought we'd bring you up to speed on what's been going on in the courts. Stephan Sterns' trial for Maddie's murder is scheduled to begin this September. And when it does start, he doesn't want the jury considering the death penalty as a possible punishment. I'm going to go through the reasons why for you. Sterns has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges in the murder and sexual battery case.
Yep.
Also, in a strange development that I'll get to later on, Maddie's choir teacher has been arrested by the feds.
Yes, and I love that they're mixing this in because it's going to make it even worse for these grimy chomos. It's going to make it so much worse because you put hashtag Madeline Soto into anything and it just gets all over the planet. Lucky because that little girl, man, that little girl was such an angel, and now she's our angel. Bestie77, I got your email. Love you. I will get back to you. Thank you for joining. If you're just meandering on by, we still love you, and I'll still get back to you. Yeah, he's scared of dying, and he did not think about how she felt. Right. Oh, he doesn't care about anybody but himself. Good to see you, Sarcasm. I think I'm right there with you. I am the queen of sarcasm. Hence, Zarcasm. Czarina. Yeah, the teacher, Selena. That was the teacher that was texting Maddie's mom when she went missing. She texted a teacher, and it was that chomo right there, Maddie's teacher. All right. Now, if you don't know, now you know. I can't say that last part. I'll say ninja. All right. I also covered this, my friend. I also covered this. Yes, Jen Soto did text the day Maddie went missing, and I covered this as well. Where were you? Where you been? Why do you guys say stuff like that? I love you, but I covered it. You're like, Grizzly did that. No, I did that. I actually did that first because Florida called Jay and said, hey, it's Florida. And guess what? Maddie's teacher got arrested. And I said, boom, breaking news. But nobody saw that. Psh, just playing with you. All right, let's keep going.
Accused of enticing minors. He was interviewed by detectives in Maddie's case, and you're going to hear some of that later on. It's been nearly 1 year since Maddie Soto celebrated her 13th birthday and went to bed and was never heard from again. The search for Maddie lasted several days in Kissimmee, Florida. Her mother's on-again, off-again boyfriend, Stephan Sterns, would be charged with sexually abusing Maddie for years. The search for Maddie began in the evening of February 25th, 2024, when Maddie's mom reported her missing.
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school. I'm sorry, one second. Yeah.
All right, real quickly, I want you guys to kind of speculate in chat as we're watching this. I want you to speculate what that was about. And thank you, Selena, for being a day one. I appreciate that. I want you guys to speculate. Kim Casey, hey, how you doing? I want you to speculate why Jen Soto keeps saying, and she said multiple times that Maddie was wearing black shorts and a green hoodie. She said that in this interview, and she said it in another video. She never talks about the Crocs. Actually, she might talk about the Crocs, which there was one in her room, but why does she keep saying? Now, my speculation is that she got confused, and that's what she was wearing the night she went to bed. But why would she be wearing a green hoodie when she went to bed? Do you think she was wearing that and then they changed her after she died? So before she died, she was wearing the black shorts, and then they dressed her in a green hoodie and jeans and then dumped her body? Not just because she's a liar. Something else is going behind that. She said it twice, you guys. You think so? Oh, somebody said that. Somebody said to throw off the police. Maybe the little girl that they saw in the that she thinks they saw at the church was wearing black shorts and a green looking hoodie. Wow, that it is a great point, right? I heard it again and I was like, why is she saying that? When was Maddie wearing that? Thank you, Kim Casey, for the $2 super chat. You're very welcome. I have much more cases coming up. Now, you say you wonder if Jen Soto's pulling Chris Proudfoot and trolling under the different names. Go back, you drown yourself. Oh, yeah, Jen Soto's around here. She sees what's being said, you guys. And welcome, Butterfly Kisses. If you're a new member here or you made a live, always I'll shout you out. So drop that in chat and I'll give you a shout out. All right. She's thinking. This is her thinking cap, you guys. So side by side with Jen Soto, and she's thinking. And Steph is just he's just lying. He's all suited up, ready to just lie.
Go ahead, sir.
Are we looking for another kid or we have a kid?
Looking for another one.
Alright, so people are still on the scene. Let's put that out in the hospital location. How old?
I'm trying to get there right now. Okay. So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
She did it twice.
Pick her up from school today.
Twice.
She never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office. I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed.
Look at
I got a
Stephanie.
notice, an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged.
I don't know why they blurred that out. She must be saying her name.
Madeline.
No, she looks scared of getting caught.
Last name?
Soto. S-O-T-O.
Stop talking, Stephan.
Deputies searched for Maddie using canines.
No. This is crazy. This part's crazy to me.
Deputies also searched using horses and on foot. But from the beginning, you could tell that Kissimmee police detectives felt something wasn't adding up with Stephan Sterns' story. 3 days after Maddie was reported missing, detectives interviewed Sterns one last time.
Going back to...
Let me tell you real quickly, just a fast story. Jen Soto's family watches us, so I suspect that Jen Soto watches us too. Remember, we were one of the first channels. That's why my channel got so many subscribers so fast, because at the beginning of this year, I had like 1,000 subscribers, and now we're 21,600 something. It was because of the Madeline Soto case, and I was one of the only channels that had exclusive access to the vigil. I got that exclusive interview with Jen's roommate. And if you go look at that video with Jen's roommate and some of the exclusive videos that nobody else had, there's like 100,000 views on them, which is a lot for my small channel that's now a lot bigger than it was. So just so you know, I do know that they do watch my channel. All right, so that includes Stephanie and Jen Soto. Fuerte Fitness, welcome. Thank you. You found me through the Madeline Soto case, right? That's many people.
School. How was she like on the car ride there?
Oh, sleepy.
Oh, yeah, sleeping.
You know.
Sleeping along the way. She does that.
She does that.
How often have you?
How often do you take her to school?
Not often, honestly. This might have been my third or fourth morning school run. I'm not normally the one to do it.
Did you know that your personal data is being harvested and sold online by data brokers? Yes, anyone can buy your personal info.
Oh, no, really?
Crime Fix. During this interview with Sterns, it's important to recognize that detectives already know the answers to most of the questions that they're asking.
Did you take any trash out from the apartment? Is it night before? I think I did.
Oh, yeah? You don't think they saw you? Dumbass.
I'm not sure. I took the trash out at some point, but I don't remember if it was the night before or it was the morning of.
Yeah, it was the morning of, homeboy.
Yeah,
I
so
got
that's
you.
where we got the trash bags
What?
out by the door.
What? Mickey Mouse in the
See them?
house.
Is there like a
How do you do that?
common
What is
trash
that? Dabbing?
place, or like is there take their trash too?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that where you took the trash out?
Yeah.
Is that where you took Maddie?
You had her backpack. Presumably her school computer was in her backpack. And you described her wearing a green jacket, some kind of dark colored shorts, and white Crocs.
There they go again with the shorts.
Okay. Well, I can confidently tell you she did not go to school with her backpack.
I can confidently tell you she didn't go to school.
How's that?
Because we found it in the trash.
Oh, really? How'd that get there? Interesting.
So, Stephan, here's what I'm asking you and pleading with you is to dig down and do some soul searching.
Thank you.
Okay. You understand?
They do. They already know.
Family's pleading with you. I'm pleading with you because this
Bam.
is that we need to find. And it's as more time goes by, it's tough. I have kids, he's got kids. And this little girl's out there somewhere that we need to know where. And I
Well, let me think about
really
it.
think you can help us.
Okay.
I mean, you want to get something off your chest. I don't know what it is, but I'm pleading with you.
I don't know.
What's up, Diane Pickering? Thank you for the one guilty of crime membership.
What happened?
I dropped her off.
Where?
I dropped her off on the road to school. That was the last I saw her.
I dropped her off at school, and that was the last I saw her. And I want you guys to know, for all you guys that are thinking about that cell phone evidence still, that's what he did with that officer. You're allowed to be like that with an officer and hand it over, and it still be justified. He's a coward. He was a coward in front of those guys. He dropped her off, and that was the last I saw of her. He did that with the phone too. The officer's like, "Hey, let me see your." Oh yeah, well, my dad's gonna call. Oh, that's okay. We'll call Jen. Oh well, and then he walked away and complained to Jen about it. Just because you complained to Jen about it doesn't mean you didn't give consent to that officer. But besides that, who cares? They've got all the other subpoenas and warrants for all of his other apps that have the other, how many? 35,000 altogether. How many? 1,700 of Maddie alone, and then just a ton of other kids. So who cares? Let's keep going. Thank you so much, Chick, for the one guilty of crime membership. I hope one of you guys gets that really wants it. Yeah, we're gonna start a kissing booth and raise money for Madeline Soto's bench.
Now, you heard the detective tell Stearns that they found Maddie's backpack in the trash. That backpack was covered in paint, and one of Maddie's white Crocs was also found in the trash. The Orange County Sheriff would say that night that they had video of Stearns putting the items in the dumpster.
Here's where I'm going to be brutally honest with you. There's your phone.
Ooh, thank you, Kim Casey.
And I'm pretty sure you know what some of those pictures are about. You're a very intelligent person.
Yeah, other kids.
I don't want you to
Yes.
discredit yourself by saying you don't know about all the pictures that are on your phone. You understand what I'm saying?
No, I don't know. I'm still sleepy.
So do you want to add to the list of pictures?
You think those guys want to whack him? That guy looks like he wants to. That guy looks like he wants to hop across the table and just take him out. This one's like starting to get a little frustrated. He's getting red, but this guy looks like he really just, if Stephan Sterns was to move, this guy would be ready just to tear him up. All right, this is where he's going to ask for a lawyer because he's a coward and he knows they know.
Should I be talking with a lawyer right now?
Yes, I do.
I can't answer that question. My sole purpose right now is to see if I can find, and I'm really hoping you can help me.
Okay, well, I'd like to try to help, but I feel like I should probably have a lawyer present at this point.
I feel like I should have a
So you want
lawyer
an attorney?
present.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I feel like I should have a lawyer present. It's the Mickey
Stearns
Mouse
was initially
Club.
charged with more than 60 counts of sexual battery after detectives said they found more than 1,700 images of Stearns sexually abusing Maddie on his Google Drive. The next day, a man called in a tip remembering that he saw someone matching Stearns' description changing a tire on a silver car near a farm that Monday. Deputies found Maddie's body at the farm in between two bamboo trees. It took a little time, but at the end of April, Stearns was charged with murdering Maddie. The state attorney later announced that prosecutors would seek the death penalty. They believe Stearns should face the death penalty because of Maddie's age and the felony sex crimes he's accused of committing against her.
Now, that's another mitigating factor is her age and the fact that he was a authority figure to her. So that's all going to matter. You guys, we're talking about mitigating factors. Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Stephan Sterns. Let's go put her backpack in there. She's sleeping. What an idiot, man. That guy. All right, let's keep going. You guys can just go to guiltyofcrime.com and find everything on there. And the merch is there and all that stuff. We're currently thinking about changing the merch store, though, because I can't keep track of the merch. I can't even keep track of my own merch. I bought you guys gifts. I bought hoodies for Christmas. I bought hoodies and I mailed out the hoodies and I sent you guys tracking numbers and they've never even gotten there. So it's pretty bad. So I think we need Carly's in charge of the merch store. So you should come at Carly. I should give Carly's email address out. Anyway, if you need anything, it's guiltyofcrime.com, you guys. All right, let's keep going.
But Stearns' lawyers want the judge to strike the death penalty, meaning they want it removed as a possible penalty for the jury to consider. It's not an uncommon request in death penalty cases, and the first motion is simply a motion to prohibit the death penalty as a possible punishment. It states the defendant through counsel moves this court to enter an order excluding death as a possible penalty because selecting a jury based upon their opinions about the death penalty, death qualifying, will violate Stephan Sterns' right to a jury and due process of law. It is widely recognized that the process of selecting a jury in a case where the state is seeking the death penalty has an impact on diversity of the jury and jurors' attitudes. Jurors are excused either by cause challenge or peremptory challenge because of their opinions about the death penalty. Stearns' lawyers also claim that the death penalty impacts the age and gender of the jurors selected. They write, men of all ages, with the exception of the youngest men, those approximately 20 to 30 years old, were more likely to choose the death penalty than were women. Young women in the age range of early 20s to late 30s were more likely to sentence the defendants to death than were older women. Stearns' lawyers believe the reasons why the state is pursuing the death penalty against their client are unconstitutional. They write,
that's a good question, and that's actually a good conversation to be had at some point, especially in chat. Yeah, Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill. What's going to be his defense? Let me guess. He didn't start it. It was Maddie. Yeah, I can't imagine. I think his defense is going to be something like that he walked out, didn't do it. Whoever was in the house, he doesn't know who did it, but she was already like that when he got back. I don't know. I don't know what could possibly. Now you're talking about the capital case. What about the CSAM? What could it possibly be his defense in that case? All right. Thank you, Liv Wade. I appreciate that. Chill and humble. Love you. You're great. Well, you're great. Thank you for being a member and being a part of the Crime Crew official. I appreciate you. Released. All right. And thank you, Teresa K, for the $1. That actually means more than you know. I appreciate that. If every 21,600 members put $1 in, your girl would be that much more money to spend on a roof. I still didn't get a new roof, but I'm not going to complain, you guys. If you guys saw my walkthrough yesterday, let me know. We can talk about that too. I wanted to talk with you guys about what you thought about some of that stuff, but we'll save that for members only. All right. Chief wants to talk about Richard Allen. They're going to petition this time be served in a mental institution. Yeah, I don't think anything's going to happen with that, my man. I think he's just going to stay in prison forever. Maddie started it and her mom knew out loud. I bet that's what he's going to say. Absolutely. And he's going to say, we fell in love. Jen knew about it and she consented. She let me do that. And she was jealous. Things went wrong. That's what I could imagine. Anna's from Florida and she says he'll claim that Jen offered Maddie up, that she was a mastermind. I believe that too. Absolutely believe that. I have no doubt about that. And thank you, Jane. Guilty of crime, support all and some people with disabilities. You're welcome. Absolutely. Absolutely. Salty J is my favorite. The walkthrough was fun. Yeah, you got me. I was catching trolls on the walkthrough, Lou G. I was snatching up trolls all by myself. No mods. I just popped up and I was like, hey, you go back to 7-Eleven where you belong. Your break is over, dude. All right, let's keep going.
Only possible motive for pursuing the death penalty in this case can be to skew the composition of the jury or coerce a plea. Both would be constitutionally impermissible. Stearns also argues that seating a death qualified jury keeps the jury from representing a cross-section of the community and makes it less racially diverse. Research has established that a juror selected because he or she does not oppose the death penalty is more likely to be white. It quotes a paper as saying, African Americans as a class may be disproportionately excluded from jury service by virtue of the group's disproportionate view of the inappropriateness of capital punishment. Moreover, researchers categorize jurors in capital cases as demographically unique and that they tend to be both white and male. This disproportionate.
And this is why we're not reading all of those, because they're over 50. Now they just filed another one, you guys. Like, that's just not my digs. I like to read documents sometimes to you, but I'm not going to sit there and read all that legal jargon. I mean, a lot of it's a formality and things that just need to be done. And then there are other just things that they're nitpicking at. And then other things are a strategy for them to maybe get a deal. And then the other thing is delay. I'll tell you that right now. When my nephew was in prison for 5 years, I was there for 2.5 of the years. I'm the one that hired him a lawyer, and the strategy, I was there for the strategy. I saw the strategy up front, and up front, the strategy is to delay. He ended up doing about 2.5 years in county just because we delayed it so much. So by the time his sentence came, he got a 5-year sentence. And I think he did he did most of it. He did a little over 4 years, and he did the other 2 years in prison. But I was right there. I hired his lawyer, talked to his lawyer, read the documents, and there was a lot of documents. I understand, I'm just an all around. I know a lot about a little bit of everything, right? I'm Jay from Guilty of Crime. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not anything. Thank you, I'll call you Bree. I can't call you Gothic Bree. Thank you, Bree, for the $2 super sticker. I appreciate you. And I missed this. I don't want to miss this. My girl, Millie. I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Millie. Member for 9 months. General population in prison is waiting. Can't wait. I wish he'd get out in general population. How many more men did she allow to do this? Interesting that you say that. I wonder, but hopefully it was only Stephan Sterns. I don't know. Hamburger Helper, I pray she drops a bombshell about that potato. I think so. I don't see what else that he has. And they might just drop it in the middle of court, you guys. Maggie, welcome. I'm glad you caught alive. Let's keep going. Legal jargon. Again, they're talking about the death penalty, and they're trying to approach it with specificity and make sure that it goes exactly the way they want it to, right?
Exclusion of Blacks appears to have a significant impact on the outcome of capital cases. Now, this isn't the only reason Stephan Sterns wants the judge to strike the death
like a
penalty.
dog, drop
He
her like
also
a
makes a
dog.
number of those arguments, but let's say he doesn't win any of them. Well, he's asking for separate juries for the first part of the trial, where the jury determines whether he's guilty or not guilty, and a second jury if he's convicted to determine whether he gets the death penalty or life in prison. But back to Sterns' arguments against the jury considering the death penalty at all. He actually makes a religious argument and even brings in the Pope. Sterns argues the death penalty would violate his fundamental right to life.
Oh my
His attorneys
God.
write that the death penalty should not be considered because of
That's ludicrous, you guys. If he really was a religious man, he would never have done that to Maddie in the first place. Even if he wants to say that he was in love with her with that stupid poem, I will always love you, Maddie. Blah, 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 blah. I will always love you. I will always miss you. How could that even be possible for him? I mean, this is like, I don't like his lawyers already, but yeah, how are you going to all of a sudden turn religious right here when you were brutally graping that girl every which way possible, making her do BJs on you that she wasn't derugged for? At least when she was derugged, she didn't know everything that was happening. But wow, this guy, man, the Pope? Bro, yeah, this guy's like a circus here. He needs a death penalty. I agree. That is just absolutely ridiculous and ludicrous. It's like, just like, what? Yeah, he's Satan. Hell, she didn't go to her birthday party last year. Right, Debbie Cole? Why would Jen Soto go to her remembrance this year?
Of the prohibition on cruel and unusual
Are you
punishment
kidding me,
and the
bro?
fundamental right to life. They continue. The Catholic Church and many evangelical Christians have voiced opposition to the death penalty. Specifically, Pope Francis announced that the death penalty is inadmissible because human life is always sacred in the eyes of the Creator. In addition, Pope Francis has clarified that the Catholic Church opposes the death penalty. Another request Sterns' lawyers are making, they want the remaining pretrial hearings closed. They believe the coverage in the news and on social media has been prejudicial and unprecedented. I want to bring in Anthony Rickman. He is a criminal defense attorney in the Tampa.
All right, this is perfect. That's why I wanted to watch this with you guys. I hope that you didn't see it yet. It came out in the midst of all the stuff and all the motions flying out. And I was like, yes, you know me. I like me some court TV and some News Nation, some crime fix. I hope you guys didn't see this yet. Some more insight. And these are the 5 updates, the 5 major updates that are up until right now. This came out like a day and a half ago. So good. I'm glad you guys are here. I'll take a little breather and say, hit the like button, you guys, if you forgot to do that. And absolutely ridiculous that Stephan would bring the Pope in. And like Foxy Amazon said, yeah, what about the Pope? What about the priests, right? What crazy. We know what happens there, right? What's up, Brightfoot? Hello, I made it, but late. That's okay. You can be part of the rewatch crew. The thing is you made it now. Wonder what Pope Francis would say about Stephan Sterns' action. Well, yeah, that depends on what Mr. Pope, how he feels about his priests as well. I wonder if it's going to be like let's save this white man, Stephan Sterns. That's what it sounds like he's doing. It sounds like he's doing that. Like, we need to have more white people on there and more this and come on. What's up? Live chat. It is. You got it. All right. Yeah, circus music and a it's just circus music in the background, right? Yeah. You should get your lawyer's license. You can be a female version of Vinnie Paulton and get your own show. I can get my own show on Court TV without doing that. So that's my goal right there. But yes, Chief. Yes. Let's keep going. Let's listen to this guy. This guy's a lawyer.
Area. I want to talk to you first off, Anthony, about this request by the defense to close the remaining pretrial hearings. I just can't see that happening in the state of Florida, especially in any case, but let alone a case like this one.
Yeah, Anthony, thanks for having me back. I mean, yeah, Florida has one of the most open rules for court. I mean, we have an open court hearings where we have TVs in the courtroom, we have cameras in the courtroom all the time. I do not see any circumstance where the judge bars cameras from the courtroom, where the judge bars open proceedings where people can't come into court to see what happens in a case, especially in a case like this, in which the public has an interest because of what we saw in this case. We saw how it was publicized from the beginning, where there was a national search for this child. There was a national manhunt.
I love
for the
this
potential
guy.
person who killed her, where there was a lot of publicity leading up to it. I see no circumstance where this court is going to bar any sort of pretrial publicity, do any sort of gag order in a case like this.
I want to move on now to the death penalty motions, because that's really the bulk of the motions right now. I don't think I've ever seen a death penalty case where, you know, the defense attorney didn't try to get the judge to strike the death penalty. Usually you hear these arguments, and you hear it in this case, that it's cruel and unusual punishment. It violates the constitutional rights of the defendant for a number of reasons. We're hearing that here, but then they take it a step further. They start talking about the Pope, which I think is very interesting, and talking about how even the Pope Francis has said, you know, the death penalty is not something that should be imposed. They're bringing up religious reasons why the death penalty should not be a punishment.
They should have to show proof that Stephan Sterns actually even went to church, you guys. They shouldn't be able to just pull this out of his butt. That makes no sense. And yeah, blah, 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 blah. It's a bunch of nonsense. We know it. If you didn't go to church, dude, and what you did to Maddie is not anything that's in the Bible. I don't care what you say about you'll get forgiveness. Why don't you get forgiveness after you get on death row? A lot of people use that as an excuse in prison to get better food. They say there's a certain religion, I can't remember, a certain thing to get better food. So it's an excuse, but this is ridiculous. He didn't go to church. If he did, he wouldn't have done what he did. Yeah, Satan Sterns. Unconstitutional. What about Maddie's rights? She didn't have any rights. She was a child, and I'm sure she told her mother, and her mother said, well, I'm going to sleep now.
Punishment. What were your thoughts on that? Because I don't know if I've ever seen that argument made before.
It's very odd. I mean, it's more like a kitchen sink argument. Like they're throwing everything they possibly can at this case. And look, we hear it in the court all the time. If it's not raised, it's waived. So this defense team is raising every single argument they can raise. And if you look at the other motions, there is some religious overtones in the other motions they filed, particularly in some of the juror motions, where they want to get into the religious background of some of the jurors. So you wonder if there's going to be some sort of religious overtone in their defense. But it's very odd to see them bringing sort of this fundamental rights approach of their motions in regarding the death penalty. Because at the end of the day, these issues have been litigated. We know that there's a difference between a religious right, a fundamental right, and cruel and unusual punishment that the courts have dealt with throughout jurisprudence from the inception of our country. And at the end of the day, these issues have been litigated. And in the state of Florida, we have a death penalty. We have one of the most harshest death penalties in this country.
Yes,
in the state of Florida, we are the most death-friendly state in this country. Unlike other states.
Absolutely. I love what this guy is saying. What I do love is that he doesn't think that they're going to close the courts, you guys, where they are in Florida. It's just open. It's like they want it to be open so everybody can see. And then I've always said, if you want the death penalty, travel to Florida. If you don't already live there, go commit a heinous crime. It doesn't even have to be that heinous. Commit a crime that they want to just put the death penalty at you. They love it. Ted Bundy did that. Ted Bundy was all the way over up this way. He was all the way on the East Coast, up in the northern parts of California and Oregon, and he went all the way to Florida and committed a heinous crime against a 12-year-old and then 4 college students like Brian Koberger, and death penalty for you, dude. I wish they had. Oh, they did. They did. I went over that case. They had cameras in the court, and we can actually watch Ted Bundy defending himself and asking one of the ladies to marry him right on the stand. You guys remember that? For those of you that know, that was in Florida, you guys. And he was defending himself, and he asked that lady, will you marry me? And it was legal because of where they were. Absolutely ridiculous. All right, yeah, go take your meds. Hurry up. Let's gotta listen to this guy.
You don't need a unanimous jury to condemn someone and sentence someone to death. Unlike other states, in the state of Florida, you can be put to death for child molestation.
Yep.
So in the state of Florida, we are very death friendly. And I understand what the defense is doing here. They are doing everything they can to save their client from being executed. And they have to do it. That is their job. That is their role. And what you see here is them doing everything that they feel they can do above and beyond what we normally see in most cases.
Yeah, we should have that picture there while we read that. Now, he looks like Satan right there, okay? Look at those nasty dark eyes, and it's funny when they cut his beard because you could see his big old ears sticking out. But Millie, thank you so much, my girl, for the $20 super chat. The Bible also says an eye for an eye and reap what you sow. How about all those use the name in God in vain, which happens a lot? He had no problem doing what he did to Maddie. He needs to throw Jennifer Soto under the bus to save his ass. Hashtag arrest Jen Soto. I agree with you 200%, Millie. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. I really do think that Jen Soto is going to come out in there, and he's going to come out, and that's going to be his defense. He walked away. He left. When he came back, hey, Maddie and her were fighting that night because she didn't get what she wanted. When is the next court date? That's a fantastic question. They just changed it. They moved the next court date to, I believe, April 23rd. 2 months and 11 days away. There you go. All right, let's keep going.
To prevent their client from seeking the death penalty. And here you have, when you look at the evidence, it's a tough case.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of bad facts, as defense attorneys would say, for Stephan Sterns. I mean, we have video evidence, we have photographic evidence in the form of, the sexual abuse photos, which that's a separate case, the sexual battery case, but I can't imagine that the prosecutors are not going to present that as evidence in the murder case, because that, I would assume, is going to play into why this happened in their view.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Another one of the arguments that the defense is making, and they are being really, really aggressive in their arguments. I mean, it's very interesting to me. They're saying basically, if you seat a death penalty juror, a so-called death qualified jury, that basically you're excluding a cross-section of the population, that there are certain people or certain members of the population, certain demographics, African Americans, and some other demographics that are less apt to impose the death penalty.
Wow.
So they're saying basically, if you want a death qualified jury, you're basically going to be getting a bunch of white men, essentially, is what they're arguing.
There you go.
I don't know if that's necessarily true, because
that sounds like it, because when I was listening to her say that, it sounded like he's racist AF. It sounds like he just wants a bunch of white men, including the Pope, to be like, this guy, that's okay. Because the world is ran by chomos. I've said that, and I'll say it again until the day I die. It's ran by chomos. Hollywood's covered in it, and any of the people that have way too much money, for some reason, resort back to that. They want these young children, young boys, young girls. I don't know why. But it's disgusting. And yeah, but he wants a white jury, a bunch of white men on a white jury. Yeah, I'm bummed that court's moved too, but I'm not that bummed because I knew that was going to happen. Court is even going to be even more pushed out. I'll tell you right now, the next one that comes, it's still going to be pushed out. So do not be too bummed. All right. Carrie says, don't forget about Danny Rolling, the Gainesville Ripper, who was unaliving women in Florida. I was a baby and we lived on the same. Yes. Never forget about Danny Rolling, Gainesville Ripper. I should do a quiz on that one and quiz you guys. All right. Yeah, then he'd have a jury of peers. So what could be fairer than that, huh? All right, let's keep going. I like this guy.
I've seen death penalty cases, specifically a resentencing case where there was a pretty demographically, the demographics were mixed, and they still imposed the death penalty. But they're saying basically you're going to be excluding all of these jurors, and you're just going to have a bunch of white guys on the jury,
right?
If you seat a death qualified jury. What are your thoughts on their argument?
Yeah, I think that's a false premise. I mean, they're basing that whole premise on their implicit bias themselves. I mean, look, they're basically saying that the only jurors that are going to be people who are going to be open to not see death are going to be those individuals are going to be excluded automatically. I think that's just a false premise because, like you said, we've seen jurors who have decided the opposite way that have been right. We've seen jurors, look at that Nicholas Cruz jury that decided, when you talk about that case, I mean, if anyone should have been qualified for the death penalty, it's somebody who walked into a school and executed students.
Right.
And that jury panel was made up of a lot of white individuals, and they spared him his life. So when you look at the cross-section and the demographics, I mean, to say that you can't get a fair and impartial jury just based on the fact of their color of their skin, I think they're operating on a false premise to start with. I mean, you have to be able to walk into that courtroom and be able to put aside those biases. And just because you have...
And remember, Florida is 8 out of 12, folks. 12 jurors, 8 people. That will get him the death penalty. Okay, so let's just understand right now, if everything goes the way that it should and justice is served for Maddie, Stephan Sterns is going straight to trial, and he's going to have 12 out of 12 people, if not 8 out of 12, because all it takes is 8 people to put him to death. All right, so that's what's going to happen. PJ Vision, what's up, my girl? I'm going to have to rewind. I need to update on the case from what happened today. Yeah, go back to the beginning and I'll give you everything you need about the case. I'll tell you right now, Stephan Sterns did not show up to court, and I went through all the nothing burgers and I narrowed it down to like 3 things. So go back and welcome. All right, that's PJ from Dolly Vision. So you guys should go over there and check that out too. They've got Turtle Island, and it's pretty cool. I think I haven't got voted off the island yet, which is awesome. Royal bitch, I like that. We love this community too. Thank you for being here. All right, let's keep going. This guy's hyped up as I am.
A demographic that in and of itself may not be African American, may not be the race that they want them to be. You could still sit there and be fair and impartial. So walking in with that premise, I just think the defense is wrong with that premise.
They're basically saying also, if they don't win any of these, and they've got to be thinking, I think the defense knows this is an uphill battle they're fighting, trying to get the death penalty stricken from this case. They're saying, okay, if you don't grant any of these motions to strike the death penalty, we want 2 separate juries. One to consider his guilt or innocence, and then the other for the punishment phase or the penalty phase.
Penalty phase, yeah.
Have you ever seen that happen? That seems like that might be unlikely too. Am I wrong about that?
It just doesn't work that way. I mean, the same jury that determines guilt or innocence
will be
then moves on to the sentencing
penalty phase.
And then that same jury hears the mitigating and aggravating circumstances. And then that jury makes the determination if they're going to recommend that defendant is executed. Yeah. And that's how it works. And I understand why the defense wants that, because they don't want that same jury who looked at that autopsy photo.
Yep.
That same jury who saw this victim's body found in the way she was found, who heard the evidence of how she was strangled, who heard the evidence saw the witnesses testify. They don't want that same jury who heard those horrible facts now deciding this defendant's fate, because those jurors are going to be more likely to say that they want that individual executed. They would much rather, as a defense attorney, I would much rather have a jury sitting there with a clean slate, just hearing aggravating and mitigating.
And this guy from Florida knows that's not going to happen. Even without knowing Florida law, I've never, ever seen that happen. I don't recall seeing a motion put into place like that either, but that's absolutely ridiculous. And it's absolutely 3 times the amount of work, because you first have to pick a jury, and then after you pick a jury, which takes a while, then they're on the jury, in the jury box, listening to everything, and you got to hear everything from start to finish, maybe be sequestered. Oh yeah, so let's throw them off, and in the penalty phase we'll find a whole other jury and then do that again. I've never seen that happen. So let's just say that. And all of you guys, whoever's leaving, coming, hello. And if you're leaving, good night. Love you guys. Let's keep going. Absolutely crazy. Don't forget, tomorrow night, if you guys are heading out, anybody that heads out tomorrow night, I am going to cover Lucy Letby, the baby baby taker, baby killer, Lucy Letby. Is she really, though? A lot of new evidence came in on that, and Colin Griffith on Friday. Friday's Valentine's Day, you guys. So hopefully you guys can spend some time with me on Friday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. Maybe we'll do some call-ins and talk about Colin Griffith. Just got here, girlfriend. Hello. All right.
Mitigating factors without hearing the facts of the case. But for the defense, unfortunately, it's not going to work that way. That same jury who's going to be impaneled at the beginning of that case, who heard those facts, who decided guilt, is going to be the same jury who's going to make the determination of if this defendant lives or dies.
And finally, Anthony, they're asking that the judge bar victim impact statements in this case. So people who loved Maddie Soto, her father, her mother, other family members, they're saying, these can be prejudicial and inflammatory. So you shouldn't allow them to speak if there's a conviction in this case. And then in the alternative, they say, okay, well, if you don't deny that, then we want you to videotape these for the appellate record so the appeals court can see it in video, not just a transcript. So I've never heard of victims I've heard of the statements being limited, but not barred from a criminal case.
That these victims have the right, the families of the victims have the right to confront the individuals convicted and the individuals facing sentence.
And that's another dumb thing. That's not going to happen either. That's absolutely another ridiculous, redonkulous, whatever you want to call it. Part of the process of grieving and closure for the family and in the penalty phase is getting victim impact statements. Even when someone's on, when someone's up for parole, you get to have a victim keep them in there. They get some kind of statement to say, keep them in there. There's no way that they're going to do that. I don't know why he thinks he's special or entitled, but I think his dream team of the defense thinks that they're going to come out and do something and get a name for themselves in Florida. Not going to happen, you guys. They're not going to take away the victim impact statements. No effing way. That would, I mean, no. I'm getting mad just thinking about that.
And this judge will not bar them from confronting the person who's convicted of killing Maddie Soto if he's convicted. And they will have the right to stand there and face him and tell the jury their victim impact statement. I do not see any circumstance where this court will prohibit them from standing there and giving their victim impact. Now, the court may limit them. The court may say you can't curse at him, you can't yell at him, you can't direct him individually and say things to him directly. But I see no circumstance in which this court will grant the defense's motion and allow him to be addressed via video or in some other way. In Florida, especially, we have something called Marcy's Law. And in Marcy's Law, it allows the victim to be heard. We have Victims' Bill of Rights here in Florida. And in this particular case where we see how this child was murdered, how this child was victimized, I see no circumstance in which this victim's family, her next of kin, people who loved her, wouldn't have the opportunity to address the jury, to give victim impact, or I do not see any way that this victim's family would be limited in doing that in front of a jury at a sentencing phase.
Yeah, it's just, there are a lot of interesting requests in this case that I really haven't seen before.
Well, they come out after. Yeah, that is ridiculous. What she's saying is true, but they're read after and before. Now, the judge is already considered. They already have the death penalty on the table. So once they're going for the death penalty, they're going for the death penalty. I don't think the judge can decide after that. I'm not sure what state, but anyway, that process helps for not only healing and letting the victims be heard, but helping the jurors to decide what they're going to do and how they're going to vote. But okay, happy birthday, early birthday to Foxy Amazon. I hope that you're here on Friday, February 14th. I know a lot of people don't like Valentine's Day, and I do. I like Valentine's Day just fine, but we're going to do something on Saturday for Valentine's Day. And last year, you guys, a year ago, this next Friday, I was doing an episode, and it was called like it was some like horror Friday thing, right? It was Lovers Friday, and the husband killed his wife here right by where I live at the Google. They worked for Google. So anyway, you guys should go back and look at my playlists. I have a playlist that's it's a Valentine's Day episode. All right, let's keep going. So this year will be much different than last year.
I mean, I don't think I've seen the Pope brought up before. That's really interesting. Okay. The one thing I think they will get, they're saying, okay, we want him to not be in restraints during the trial, and he should have a regular writing implement.
Nope.
I guess maybe not a crayon or something. But I mean, they're going to get that one.
For what?
No big deal.
I agree. They'll get that. They don't want the jury seeing that he's in shackles. They don't want the jury seeing him brought in orange. They'll get that. But look, I get it. You have a horrible case. This is going to be a very hard factual case for the defense to win on the facts. They are fighting to keep this man alive. That's what they're fighting for.
They are fighting to keep him alive. And Laureen, the judge said the exact same thing. It's been almost a year. Why did it take so long to do this? And it kind of, that's all we really heard, because you couldn't hear much in court. So they're doing it because of tactics. And what he said, they're trying to save this demon's life. It's not even a man. Yeah, you guys, Friday, it's always the same time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. All right. I even streamed on Christmas Eve, I think, this year. So I definitely like hanging out with you guys. And yeah, she did say a crayon or something. That'd be funny to watch him with a crayon. He'll probably be sitting there writing a love note again to Maddie instead of Jen Soto, right? He should be writing, "I'll always miss you, Jen." No, who cares? He didn't care about Jen, and I cannot wait until Josephine says Jen will be charged. Unfortunately, they wait for Satan to be convicted. They don't want to take attention away from the abuser. I've testified for my essay victim because they need a big voice. Well, I hope so. I don't care how they do it or why they do it, or almost even when they do it. I just want them to arrest Jen Soto.
Because when you look at the facts, you look at the evidence, they have an uphill battle to avoid a conviction. They're fighting to keep him from being executed. And we see these multitude of motions to do that. We don't see factual motions. We don't see motions in limine right now to keep out evidence. We see motions in limine to keep him from getting the needle. And that's where they're at.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, we'll be waiting for those other motions. Anthony Rickman, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so now to Maddie's former choir teacher. I brought that up
All right,
earlier here
last
in
but
the
not
show.
least.
His name is Italo Brett Bonini. At Maddie's school, he simply went by Italo Brett. Bonini is 25, and the FBI says that he met 2 prepubescent boys.
All right, for those of you that don't know, now you know. So listen up, because this is Madeline Soto's chorus or choir or music teacher. It was our music teacher, period. And we think, and we're speculating, she may have gotten lessons from him because Tyler was paying for music lessons for Maddie. Do you remember that whole story of that she told Maddie to go to sleep with Stephan Sterns, and they were watching, I don't know if it was then or before, they were watching Sister Act because Maddie loved to sing. Okay. So this guy is connected. He's at Hunter's Creek. And in fact, Jen Soto did text him the day Maddie went missing and asked if he knew anything or whatever. Yeah, this guy has a stupid name and he has stupid hair and he looks very evil. And as a matter of fact, he does look like Tim Curry from the Rocky Horror Picture Show or It from the horror movie of Stephen King. It. All right.
On Discord and offered them money in exchange for them showing him their genitalia on the video screen. The FBI says Bonini admitted to the conduct. It's a really sad thing, and it makes you wonder whether Sterns' lawyers will try to use this somehow at his trial. Will they try to cast Italo Brett as an alternate suspect? Stranger things have happened, but I don't think it's going to work because it would be easy enough to see whether Bonini was communicating with Maddie. Bonini was interviewed by police during the investigation, as were Maddie's other teachers.
Did she ever talk to you about her home life, anything that was going on with her?
What a difference.
Like that? No. She never said anything to you? Did at any point, did she ever disclose any sort of physical or sexual or mental abuse to you?
No.
Okay. Did she mention anything to you about having any suicidal ideations, ever making any attempts at suicide?
No.
Okay. Did she ever express to you at any time if she had any mental or medical diagnosis?
No.
Okay. Did she discuss taking any medications with you for anything?
No, the only time I've ever seen her take anything was Tylenol.
And you haven't, in your opinion, you haven't seen her have any sort of signs that she's been depressed since the beginning of the school year at all, or any suicidal?
Like, she just seemed pretty normal and very, very happy, easy making her friends. I would say she bloomed a lot more in third because she had her friends there. So she was more outspoken and more confident. She's very helpful in my class. She even organized my piano once because it was.
That's crazy that they're talking to this guy. It's so he does look like he's really evil, and the acts that he did, he apologized for and said that he did that because he gave in to temptation when he made a mistake. Chomos don't make a mistake. That's what they do. That's what they're going to do. They're not going to do it unless we shoot them in the package, you guys. And that includes male and female chomos. You're not safe from predators. Whether if you have a daughter or a son, it's all the same. And that proves it right there. That guy proves it because he was doing that to little boys. As a matter of fact, I was watching something on him the other day, and he was telling them that on Discord, he was only 15 and 16 years old, which when I saw him in the other pictures, when we deep dove this guy, he actually could have been even 14 years old. So yeah, he needs a red balloon in that photo. Absolutely. But it's so coincidental, and I don't believe in coincidences, that he was intertwined with this Madeline Soto case, and that Jen Soto actually had direct communication with this guy on the day that Maddie went missing. It's really weird. Just a weird, odd fact.
There's all papers on top of it. She put all together and she wanted to do that. So, that's not noticed anything off about her.
Now, there's no indication at all that Italo Brett had anything to do with Maddie's death or disappearance. I want to be clear about that. He was scheduled to be deposed in the murder case late last month, but that may not have happened given his arrest.
Right.
Stephan Sterns' trial on the sex crimes case was scheduled to begin this month, but his attorneys have asked for a continuance. The murder trial, as I mentioned, is scheduled for this September.
Why would
And that's it for this episode of Crime.
And that's it for this episode of Guilty of Crime. All right, you guys. Like I said, sometimes we go and go and go. We've been here an hour and 51 minutes. If you guys could do me a huge favor and hit the like button on your way out. If you are new here and you forgot to subscribe, please subscribe. And if you have the means to get yourself a membership, please do, because I have a lot of cool members only stuff out and also coming out as well. Also, I'll be back here tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern, to present a new case to you, which is already on there. It's going to be the Lucy Letby case. And don't worry, I'm going to make it really interesting for you. There's a lot of them that aren't interesting, and the accents are kind of hard to follow. Well, I assure you, I have a California accent. You'll understand every word that I say. All right, you guys, I love you all. Have a fantastic night, and I will see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Good night. Mwah.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?